Next. Welcome back to another edition of Upper 90 Soccer Talk with Shane Lowe,
Montetori,
Zach Shaw,
Nick Fahey.
and the talk of today will be about the 28-year-old striker from Uruguay, Luis Suarez, and his many accolades on and off the pitch. We're talking about a scoring pace of 199 goals in 316 games, but with 5 different clubs, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's talk about these controversies that he's been involved with, and it just got a little bit lighter in here. So we're talking about biting, we're talking about headbutting referees at the age of 15, and we're talking about handballs in World Cups. We're talking about a controversial figure. What do you think, guys?
Let's talk about his eating habits first. So the guy likes to bite. There's no secret about that.
not just once, not twice. Well,
It's not for affection either.
No, Ivanovic, Chiellini, PSV's midfielder, who I don't remember his name at this point.
Nobody does.
But he's not a well-known player, so that's why we don't.
He
really
plays
know
for
him.
Cleveland State.
And well, the guy just has a problem. I think he was thrown into stardom at a young age. 14 years old with a professional club. He's not going to be able to live his childhood. And I mean, he already has people worshiping him in his native Uruguay. And when he moves on, and he's still being worshipped at a young age, his immaturity continues, and it's obvious why, because he wasn't able to have a good childhood.
He's turned into a 28-year-old adolescent.
Yeah,
He didn't get the teeth as a kid.
he didn't get the teeth either.
I think that's what it is.
Does like to bite quite a bit.
Those are his baby teeth.
What are you thinking, Zach?
definitely not a mature figure to be in a professional sport. Yeah, biting's just not the answer to anything, especially when you're playing professional soccer.
I mean, you could argue that any sort of diving, any sort of trying to convince the referee of anything, like there are videos of players grabbing other players' hands and hitting themselves in the face with it, getting calls for that. I mean, all of that is immature. But I think the biting takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it didn't even start out with biting either. It started out with his headbutt on a referee when he was 16 years old at Nacional in Uruguay. That's just a telltale sign of immaturity. I mean, if you get a call from a ref, you might cuss him out, but you have to move on with it. You don't go up to the guy and abuse him. I mean, he's just trying to do his job. You're trying to do your job playing soccer.
What went through his mind? They're like, oh, I got a red card. Your chest was looking good. And just
Yeah, it's the same thing with Zinedine Zidane when he headbutted the guy. It just, the heat of the moment, it messes with you. But with him, it's messed with him a lot of times. It's different from Zidane, who was a world-class player, didn't do anything like that more than that one time, and unfortunately it was his last game. But Suarez does that, once every 50 games, something like that, and he's been suspended a total of, you said 45 games?
45 games since his 2010 controversy, so.
Yeah, it's crazy. So,
Let's talk about the World Cup now.
yeah.
Let's talk about that infamous moment, Hunter.
what do you say to the goal?
Yeah, you're the expert on this.
So, personally, I would save the ball on the goal line like he did if I had a chance.
So that's the question. It's, would you save the ball on the goal line?
Yeah, and I'm saying I would now, and I probably would during the game.
What are you thinking, Zach?
Well, I agree with Hunter. I mean, I probably would, but as I think about it more, if I'm in a game and it's come down to the line, and I've played soccer for my whole life, since, professional or whatever it may be, since 15 years old or whatever, when it comes down to the line, I don't think growing up knowing that you're not supposed to touch a ball with your hand when playing soccer, I don't think if it came down the line, I probably wouldn't hit it with my hand. I would probably try to hit it, but for sure, if I was thinking about it at the time, I probably would save it with my hand, just because it gives my team another chance. And yeah.
So the way that I think of it as, I know Hunter hates my point of view on it, but I don't think I would. I don't know what I would do in the heat of the moment, but I'd try everything physically possible not to use my hands. I mean, soccer is a game where strictly all parts of your body but your hands. And growing up being taught everything but your hands, my last thought would be to use my hands to save it. That's the goalie's job. But I really don't know what I would do in the situation. I would think I would head it. I would think I would use my feet, something to that extent, use my chest, but I really don't know.
He couldn't.
I really don't know. I think
It was going in.
we'll let the viewers decide
It was
after
going
they see
in.
the video, because it looks like Suarez could have headed the ball, but
They don't show a good angle.
we'll see.
I'm building off of Nick's point. I believe I wouldn't, if I had the opportunity to not have to use my hands on the soccer pitch, I wouldn't. I'd use my head or my chest, and I think that, it's a toss-up, but I think there's quite a big possibility that he could have hit that with his shoulder or his head. So we'll move on to the second discussion point for today. And is he one of the top 5 players in the world right now?
What do you think, Nick?
I think he's top 10. I wouldn't give him top 5. I think my top 5 would probably be Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Robert Lewandowski. Let's see, some center midfielders. I'd still give it to Andreas Iniesta, and I would maybe give it to Toni Kroos on Real Madrid.
Oh.
But those are my top 5 right now. But Suarez hasn't cracked that yet. Once he shows me he can go 100 games without biting someone and keep the scoring pace that he's at, I'll consider him in my top 5 for sure.
I think personally he's a top 5 striker or offensive player, but I don't think he's a top 5 player all around. Because it's hard to compare defense to offense on what you're comparing him on. So top 5 offensive player, yes. Top 5 player in the world, no.
I agree with Hunter. I mean, there's so many soccer players out there today, and so many great talented players. It's hard to name somebody top 5, definitely. But positionally, I do agree that he could be top 5 striker in the world. And I mean, he's just a great player. Scores a lot of goals, consistently scores goals, and yeah, in my books, he's top 5 striker in the world, but not top 5 player in the world.
I'm going to kind of build off of Nick again and say top 10 for sure. Top 5 striker. I would not give him top 5 overall. I think that there are plenty of different people that could be thrust into this position and just have the same amount of success based upon the people that he's playing with, as in Leo Messi and Neymar. So I think he's a good player for sure on his own, but he is getting help from those guys.
And I like what you said, Hunter, about positionally, defense, goalkeeper, because if you throw goalkeepers and defense into that mix, I was thinking more offensive players for top 5 in the world. I didn't even think about defensive goalie, because I don't even know if I'd put him in my top 10 if we're considering that. I can think of so many defenders who make such a strong impact on their team. And Suarez has made such a strong impact, but I don't think he's proven enough yet that he can be dynamic without getting that crucial red card that also hurts his team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you sign him?
For my team,
Yeah.
depending on how we're signing. If we can only pick one striker, I would not.
If you're Jose Mourinho, you wouldn't sign him.
Well, he is worth a lot of money, so I don't think he's worth the money. But
Is that because of his controversies, or you just don't think he's good enough as a player?
that's a big point of it. The controversies, I don't think so, but player-wise, yes. Because he's, like I said, the top 5 striker, so he's definitely worth the money. But with all the controversy going on, and if he bites or does something stupid one more time, he's out. He's not going to come back.
What are you thinking, Zach?
With all controversies aside, I mean, it all depends on who I have on my team, I guess, and who I'm playing, how well I'm doing. But Barcelona did make a good decision by bringing him onto the team, as he's definitely helped their team out a lot. And I think, to be honest with you, I think I would sign him. He's definitely a good player and a good player to have on the team. But as Hunter said, with the controversies and everything that come with him, that could be a deciding factor to me.
I think I would sign him as well. I think I'm a firm believer in people can change, and I think eventually he will grow up. I honestly think that he needs someone to help him grow up. As sad as that is, I mean, the guy's 28 years old, but I think he needs to grow up. I think he can grow up, and I'd be willing to give him a shot for sure. He's too talented not to. I mean, things he's done are ridiculous.
If any team's going to help him grow up, it's going to be Barcelona. They're the best, I think, best team in the whole world.
I think it's good that he's not the best player on his team.
Mhm.
I think that helps him out. He doesn't feel like he needs to do more. And I think Leo Messi kind of shoulders the weight on that team. If they ask me if I would sign him, if he turns over a new leaf, then absolutely. But if he doesn't, I don't really think any amount of goals is worth that kind of behavior on the pitch. And we didn't really get into it, but there are certain things that he's done in the past in terms of racial abuse that there's a large population of African players and English Africans as well, and French Africans, and it's just that's something that I wouldn't want to be a problem on my team because we want everyone to be together, perfect harmony, and that would be a little bit of a detriment, I would think.
So do we want to show the controversial handball?
Let's end with the controversial handball. And thanks for watching.
Let's see what the viewers say about this.
Let me see if I can get it.
Hunter, you might want to slide over a little bit.
Left or right? Left.
Just play it a little bit behind so that it gets up.
Move over a little more.
Oh, there's so much room. Right there. Here comes the red.
He knew he did it, and he was happy about it when he did it. I think he could have headed it there, Hunter. I really do. Right there.
Yeah, he could have definitely headed it.
The thing is, he's flat-footed. He just got him going. He's flat-footed. It's soccer instinct. I
He
mean.
can at least get his teeth in the way.
But is it only him? If you look back in that video, you see that other guy throw his hand up as well. I mean, he misses the ball, and Suarez does hit the ball, but both of them, I think both of them look like they threw their hands up there, guys.
And that guy just missed.
Just pure joy, as I was saying earlier. I mean, Ghana wants to talk about how Uruguay cheated them out of the Final Four in the World Cup. I mean, sorry, the Final Four. I mean,
I think it was. Yeah,
it was the Final Four.
They're getting to the Final Four.
I mean, they want to say that Uruguay cheated them out of the Final Four, but they have to hit that penalty kick. And there you see Uruguay winning. I mean,
if you're a professional football player, you have to hit the net at least.
you have to.
Make the keeper work.
In the end, Suarez,
Made the right decision.
national hero, international villain.
Well said.
Ghana can complain all they want. You got to capitalize on those opportunities.
Exactly.